All right, welcome to Sport Tour on Enterprise TV, where we give you all the latest on what is happening in the world of sports. If you are joining us for the first time, please do well to follow us across all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV 7. My name is John Olashikomi. Join me and let's ride together. A lot of activities went down over the weekend. We'll be doing the review of the matches that went down. Of course, Tokyo 2025, where we saw the light in Tobi Amusan. And of course, in the MPFL, Enyimba with a fantastic away win in the MPFL over the weekend. How about the Viking, the beast himself? Talking about HAALAND also got a brace against Manchester United in the Manchester derby. Joining me virtually today is Daniel Osege, making a return back to Sport Tour. Daniel, welcome to Sport Tour.
Hello, Sukomi. Hi to the viewers as well. Feels good to be on the show yet again. I mean, fantastic weekend we saw, just like you mentioned, the World Championships go down in Tokyo, the Manchester derby. Also, the derby in Italy, we discussed about it on Friday. So, I mean,
the Turan brothers, don't talk about.
Yeah, so like I said, I'm happy to be here, so we can take it up from where we stopped last weekend.
All right, we know how we do it on Sport Talk. We always start with local football because charity begins at home. Today we'll be starting with MPFL. Enyimba International Football Club of Aba soared to the summit of the Nigerian Premier Football League standings following a 2-0 away win over Bayelsa United at the Samson Siasa Stadium in Yenagoa on Sunday, 14 September 2025. Daniel, a few days ago we talked about how big Enyimba Football Club of Aba is, and of course, ever since Kanu Nwankwo took charge, was named the chairman of that particular team, talking about Enyimba. They've not been doing wonderfully well. We all know Enyimba, the biggest team in Nigeria. This is what we want to see. We want to see the difference between a big team and, of course, a small team. Just the way we are seeing the difference between the likes of, Real Madrid versus Levante. You will see Juventus versus Como. We will see Manchester City versus Wolverhampton Wanderers. We want to see a big team in the MPFL against all the small teams in the MPFL. Good one for Enyimba Football Club, winning away from home. This is a big statement, to all sport lovers or football lovers that still believe that winning away from home in the MPFL is always difficult. Daniel, what are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I think it's a fantastic one for Enyimba, like you rightfully said. I mean, this is by MPFL standard, this is an emphatic victory. Winning 2 goals away from home unreplied at that, I think it's brilliant. And it's very surprising to know that after match day 4, after playing 2 away games, Enyimba remains unbeaten.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, and that's not something unusual of the MPFL. And I think they'll be licking their wounds for the fact that after starting the season on a very brilliant note, playing out a goalless draw against newly promoted Barao, and then winning Niger Tornadoes at home, they were forced to a goalless draw at home in Aba against Nasarawa. Imagine if they had secured all 3 points in that home encounter against Nasarawa, they would have been clear on top of the table with 10 points. They won't be joint top with Rivers United,
yes,
who are yet to pick up an away victory. It's just that they've ensured that their away games have ended in draws and have secured maximum points at home. All right, so but it's still a good way to start. 4 games, 2 victories, 2 draws, and they sit on top of the table. I think that's a good way to start. But the only blemish is that they failed to secure maximum points at home against Nasarawa United.
I think we should also give credit to Kanu Nwankwo, because when Enyimba were not doing well, we were all criticizing Kanu Nwankwo. And of course, we've seen what he's doing presently at Enyimba Football Club of Aba. Let's take a look at other results. Bendel Insurance defeated Niger Tornadoes 1-0. Abia Warriors defeated Katsina United 1-0. Rivers defeated Shooting Stars 1-0. Nasarawa United defeated Wiki Tories won. And of course, a good result coming from, Queen Khalifa defeated Academy by 3 goals to 1. Bayelsa 0, Enyimba 2, Kano Pillars 1, Enugu Rangers. I mean, last week we talked about Kano Pillars and of course the addition of the Super Eagles captain, talking about Ahmed Musa. He was also on target against Enugu Rangers. Are you surprised, Daniel, with the contribution of Musa?
Why should I be? I mean, it's not an unfamiliar terrain for him. I mean, he's been with the team for a while now. Okay, so I think him scoring the solitary goal that gave them that victory against Enugu Rangers is only normal. That's Ahmed Musa standard. He started out as a striker. For those who don't know,
yes, of
Ahmed
course.
Musa was always a flying winger. He was a number 9. At some point, he was the top scorer in the MPFL. That was way back in 2011, if my memory serves right, or 2010. Okay, so he's known for scoring goals. I mean, he's the highest goal scoring Nigerian at the FIFA World Cup. Right, that speaks volume. He's the only Nigerian footballer to have
scored brace back to back, 2014 and 2018.
So he's a goal scorer. So we expect nothing short of excellence in front of goal for me.
All right, Warri Wolves played a goalless draw against Kwara United, and of course the shocking result, Remo Stars lost to Plateau United. Do you see that one coming, Daniel? Remo Stars lost to Plateau United away from home.
I mean, they played away from home anyways, so anything could happen. In the MPFL, no matter how strong you are, I know it was a clash of first versus last. So on a very good day, you expect that at least the team in first position will hold their own, maybe secure a victory, or maybe come out with a draw.
At least get a result.
Yes, but the MPFL, Bayelsa United had lost all 3 games, and it was only just expected that sooner rather than later you will have to respond. I mean, they lost their first home game of the campaign against the Katsina United by 2 goals to 1. Okay, so having suffered such a defeat where they were even trailing by 2 goals to 0 for a long period, if not for the consolatory goal from Gideon Monday. Okay, later on in the match. So I think it's just expected. It's the MPFL at the end of the day. Your position doesn't matter. Where you play, with the tough you play on is what really matters more than your position on the log.
All right, according to Daniel, MPFL standard, you might be in number 1 position today, and of course, in the next few days, you might just jump from 1, to number 10 on the log table. Same thing applicable to all the teams that are fighting for relegation. Talking about MPFL, Ikorodu City also defeated Barao 2 goals to 0. Away from MPFL, let's move straight to foreign football. And of course, we'll be starting with the English Premier League. Manchester City moved clear winners in the derby with a dominant 3-0 victory over Manchester United at the Etihad on Sunday, 14 September 2025. Now, Daniel, let's talk about Manchester derby. We'll be starting with, the head coach of Manchester United, talking about Ruben Amorim. After the game, the big man himself said, I will not change this formation. We'll continue playing this style. And of course, I was so surprised and shocked when I saw the lineup. Playing somebody like Amad Diallo and Brian Mbomo as a double number 10 behind Benjamin Sesko, throughout the game. And you have somebody like Dogu, and of course, what is his name? Luke Shaw. These are just outfit players for me. So what are your thoughts on this game between Manchester City and, of course, Manchester United and the man called Ruben Amorim with his post-match conference?
I think, to be honest, United have continued to play well, like they've done all season long. If you watch the match, the first half belonged to City, but the majority of the second half belonged to United. It was a game of 2 halves, but just that the goals kept on raining in the favor of the citizens, right? Mbeumo has been fantastic for Manchester City. Manchester United, I beg your pardon.
Okay.
I think he deserves to play every minute for that team. Amad Diallo was if you take a look at the kind of season they had last season, was probably their best player last season. You know, it was fighting. I think it was their top scorer in all competitions or something in the Premier League or something. I knew it was top scorer, you know, for United last season, and I think you know, it was a well-deserved start for him, especially with Matheus Cunha injured for the time being. Okay, Benjamin Sesko, I saw some very interesting runs from him last night, but he wasn't getting the supply that he needed. That was his greatest undoing. He had 20 touches in that match. None of them came inside the box. What does that tell you? That tells you that he wasn't getting adequate supplies. They are standing in the right channels. Okay, so with that said, I think United have a midfield problem. The creativity isn't, you know, it's not presenting itself. All right, and they need to do something about that. Okay, for Manchester City, Erling Haaland. Anyone who knows me knows that I adore him. I love him.
I don't talk about.
Because the truth of the matter is, I always tell you that the first point of judging a person at his job is the primary role, and his primary role is to put the ball in the back
to score goals. Yes, to put the ball at the back of the net.
Did you see the two finishes that he scored yesterday? Brilliant goals. The first one, the lob, fantastic. The chip rather. The second one, oh my goodness.
Oh I don't talk about. Of course.
The way he placed that ball, you know that this is a player that knows the dimension of the goalpost. You could tell that he knows the dimension of the goalpost. And Doku was on fire. Jeremy Doku was on fire yesterday. If he keeps on playing at that level, he will be in the Ballon d'Or conversation. If he can keep up that kind of consistency, that was.
But he needs to score more goals. Even at that, talking about Jeremy Doku, you need to score goals if you want to be in that league.
That's true, but I mean that performance was one hell of a performance. And you could see the fighting spirit from him. Look at how much he really wanted to play. From the first assist he provided for Phil opener, he played the ball across goal. It was deflected, and he immediately sent it out to the penalty area. And
of course, Phil Foden was there to put it, of course, inside the net.
Yeah, one of my favorite players at City. He hasn't been getting opportunities to play this season, but he gets to play, in the Manchester derby, and he just announces himself. I think that was a brilliant performance for.
What do you expect from a team that lost back to back? They lost to Tottenham and of course Brighton and Wolves, and of course they played against a struggling Manchester United. You expect them to turn up, and of course they got the job done at the Etihad Stadium. For me,
just to mention about Ruben Amorim.
Okay.
I mean, this is a coach, because you asked me. This is a coach that's tasted immense success in Portugal, right? So if he says he wants to stick with a plan, they will have to trust him. It's just that it's been just over 10 months now. Only 8 victories.
I was about to say that. He has almost played a full season at United, like 32 games. So what is he still testing? I don't know what Amorim is doing. Come on. Manchester United is not Brentford. United is not Fulham. United is not Everton. This is Manchester United we are talking about.
That's why he said he's not testing that. This is the tactics he believes will solve the problem, and he's sticking by it.
All right. Okay, let's see how it goes. Away from Manchester derby, let's go straight to the camp of Chelsea Football Club. Chelsea played out a 2-2 draw against Brentford. I remember before, at the beginning of the season, you made mention something about Chelsea Football Club, that you can't even vouch for them that they will win the Premier League this season. And I can now see what we're talking about that time now. So Chelsea 2-2 against Brentford. Did you see the results?
Yeah,
did you see it coming?
Well, Brentford has always been a boogie team for Chelsea. All right, since they gained promotion in 2021.
Don't forget, they just lost their 2 key players in Bomo and Wissa. and yet they still managed to play out 2-2 draw against Chelsea.
That's true. If you want to even extend it to...
They also lost their coach. They also lost their coach, Thomas Frank. Yeah, so something is wrong somewhere.
So the thing is, I mean, Brentford, like I said, they've been a boogie team for Chelsea since they gained promotion. All right, so that result didn't surprise me, especially because just like the referee said, I mentioned at the beginning of the season, this Chelsea side are a crop of young players who are not world-class players. The only player that can be regarded as a world-class player in that Chelsea team will probably be Kopama.
Kopama, Caicedo? Kopama or Caicedo? Is Kopama a world-class player? No, come on, let's talk about talk to me about Kopama. Is Kopama really a world-class footballer?
For the efforts that he put in 2 seasons ago, that was a world-class performance.
So what do we now call Caicedo?
Caicedo is not the best defensive midfielder in the world, but he's amongst one of them. So I think if you consider him to be a world-class player, I can't argue against it. Okay. There's also a Rhys James there.
Because if you take a look at Caicedo ratings in the last 20 games, you will understand what I'm saying. Because he's been there already. He has been the backbone of Chelsea as we speak. Talking about Caicedo.
And no doubt about it. Like I haven't mentioned, even before the injuries started coming in, Rhys James looked like he was on the way to being world class as well. All right. But you know, but at the end of the day, for the fact that we can start debating about who is world class or not, it goes to show that, and these players are very young. They've overachieved by winning the FIFA Club World Cup. I said it. So with overachievement, better expectations, but that's for people who fail to realize that an overachievement has occurred. I have realized that that's an overachievement. So that's why my expectations of them is not still high. If because they've won the Conference League and won the FIFA Club World Cup, you feel that all overnight they've turned to be world beaters, then aren't you being disappointed now? You get disappointed, obviously. Liverpool still the team to beat. Arsenal still the team to beat for me.
All right. Thank you for that one. Let's take a look at other results. Burnley lost at home to Liverpool. All thanks, or should I say no thanks to Hannibal with that penalty that he just gave out to, Liverpool at that 90 plus a minute. And of course, you can't take anything away from Mohamed Salah. Arsenal 3, Nottingham Forest. Daniel Osege, I saw the impact of Eberechi Eze, I beg your pardon. He also assisted Gyökeres. I saw fantastic performance from Noni Madueke. You know, before now, off camera, I told one of my colleagues about, we're talking about Noni Madueke and, of course, Bukayo Saka. I said, in terms of goal scoring, I give it to Saka. In terms of maybe experience, I give it to Saka. But when it comes to a pacey winger, I will always go for Noni Madueke ahead of Bukayo Saka. And the reason is this. It's because if you take a look at that game very well, I believe Saka is also a good player. And of course, he has been consistent for the past few seasons. But Noni Madueke, the only issue that I have with Noni Madueke is that consistency. If you can give me this kind of performance in like 3-4 games in a row, any day, anytime, I will pick Noni ahead of Bukayo Saka. I don't know if you have any contrary opinion with me with that.
So the thing is, I'm not a big fan of Saka. I don't think I'm moving a fan at all. Talk less of being a big fan. Okay. For Noni Madueke, I don't fancy him that much. As a matter of fact, I was of the opinion that Arsenal overpaid for him, but I could understand why. Because he was a starter at Chelsea last season. Chelsea eventually went on to succeed, at least qualify for the Champions League, won the Conference League. I think that's a success by Chelsea standards based on the crop of players that they have. For the fact that they did ensure that they had started getting call-ups for the national team. I mean, he started for the national team during the week last week. He scored a goal against Serbia, that 5-goal thumping of Serbia.
Yes, yeah.
All right. He even scored the Premier League hat-trick. I think it was against Newcastle United or so last week. So all those, shot his evaluation up. but I still felt that so I could understand why Arsenal paid that much for him, but
Okay.
I just felt it was still beyond what he can give. But he has started to prove that that's wrong. I think this is his second goal for Arsenal, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, and like I said, he scored for the national team. Yes, and he's making Saka's absence to not be felt, at least for now. So I think he's doing very well. But to compare him to Saka, Arsenal fans will kill you for that. So
don't talk about. You're all attached to our own opinion. I'm just saying, my own opinion. I will play Noni Madueke ahead of Saka any day, anytime. That's me. But it's all good. It is what it is. A good one for Mikel Arteta and of course and his boys. Eze was top notch against Nottingham Forest. Let's see whether we continue with the momentum. All right, Bournemouth defeated Brighton 2-1. Newcastle United defeated Wolverhampton Wanderers 1-0. Courtesy of that goal from their new signing, talking about Nick Waterman, 1 goal against Wolverhampton Wanderers. Everton against Aston Villa, it ended goalless. Aston Villa had to score a goal in the Premier League this season after 4 games. Crystal Palace played a goalless draw against Sunderland. Fulham defeated Leeds, and of course West Ham United lost at home to Tottenham. What are the chances of West Ham retaining, sticking with Graham Potter?
Graham Potter, he knows for sure that he's working on thin rope, because West Ham haven't been even decent this season. I think they've lost all but 1 game so far this season, and the only game that they failed to lose was the 3-0 thumping of can I remember who they defeated? Nottingham Forest away from home. Yeah. So they've not found joy in the league so far. As a matter of fact, even in the FA Cup, they lost to Wolverhampton Wanderers. And that was a game that they were leading 2-1 up until the 80th minute of that game, before they were pegged back by Jürgen Strand-Larsen, scoring 2 goals within 2 minutes and all of that. So, of 5 official games they played this season, they've lost. They've lost 4 and won just 1. That's not good for them. They are currently toiling with relegation. It's too early to talk about relegation. They are currently in the relegation zone. They secured the final slot of spots for relegation at this point in time, just 1 point above Aston Villa, who you rightfully said are yet to score in the Premier League, and Wolves have lost every game so far. So I think it's not a very healthy place to be for Graham Potter, especially for a coach who, what he built at Brighton and Hove Albion at some point in time, but went to Chelsea and just kind of crushed all the kind of reputation he was building for himself. And you think about the fact that he's been there since last season, and you wonder how much time he has left, at the helms of affairs. We know that he took over earlier in the year, which is tail end of last season, but I really feel sorry for him, because he did so well at Brighton and Hove Albion. For him to now have this kind of headache he's having. He's 8 months into the job now. It's kind of just a 2.5-year contract. He's yet to do 1 year, like I said. I don't think I can see him completing that contract. But you know what we say about managers? There are 2 types of managers: the ones who are hired and the ones who are fired. He's hired right now, but in no time will join the list of fired managers.
And of course, the likes of Jose Mourinho, he's out there. Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer are all out there waiting to get a new job. All right, away from English Premier League, let's move straight to Spanish La Liga. Robert Lewandowski, Rafinha, and Fermin Lopez struck twice each as Barcelona turned Valencia 6-0 on Sunday in a La Liga match. They were forced to play at their tiny training ground stadium because of delays in reopening the Spotify Camp Nou stadium. What more can we say about Barcelona, Daniel? In fact, no Lamine Yamal, no problem. No Frankie de Jong, no problem. Barcelona usually deliver. Lewandowski still scoring at the age of 36. Fermin Lopez, Rafinha will just stop. I mean, he's just on fire. So what more can we say about Barcelona?
In a victory for Barcelona, they've always had it good against Valencia, to be honest. So I wasn't surprised with the way it went eventually. But I mean, 6-0, that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a whole lot. Especially when you consider the fact that they had two substitutes come on and grab braces for themselves. I mean, Rafinha scored within 7 minutes, just over 6 minutes of coming on. The same thing can be said about Robert Lewandowski. Just after 7-8 minutes, he got on the score sheet as well. I mean, it's just a good time that Barcelona are having there. The rested players because of the Champions League, but now eventually thought of giving them some playing time so that they can, have a feel of the grass before they travel to England to take on Newcastle United away from home at the St James's Park. But brilliant, and I'm happy for Femi Lopez taking the chance because I mean there's so much competition, there's still competition for places in the midfield. Having to start that game yesterday, played 90 minutes and was able to grab 2 goals. I think that was really brilliant of him. All right, fine victory for them. I'm just worried for Marcus Rashford. I wonder when he will get his first goal for Barcelona. Yes, they provided an assist yesterday, but I mean 4 games in La Liga now, still no goal yet.
I'm playing a team like Barcelona that score goals for fun.
So I'm just worried for him.
All right, away from Barcelona, let's talk about Real Madrid in 30 seconds. Just last month, the big man himself talking about Xabi Alonso bagged the coach of the month, and of course we saw another light in them when they played away from home against Real Sociedad, even with a man down. Do you think Real Madrid have what it takes to go all the way this season? Or when they face when they face Barcelona now, and of course we will not see the light in them again?
To be honest, I think Real Madrid really proved to me yesterday that they mean business this season. I say yesterday, 2 days ago, because you consider the fact that, like rightfully mentioned, they were leading at some point 1-0, got red carded, and you would have expected that what's it called?
Sociedad.
Real Sociedad who take that as an advantage to try to force a draw or something. Before you could say Jack Robinson, they were able to topple the lead to extend it to 2-0. Okay, Sociedad even got a penalty to get one back, and from then on, Real Madrid hung on for the victory. And I think it was a brilliant performance from Real Madrid. And like I said, they've proven to me that they really want to win this time around. I mean, take a look at the fact that last season they went trophyless, in spite of the fact that they got a player who they have been chasing for many years in Kylian Mbappe, and he delivered, but his teammates let him down. You understand? I mean, it's the worst kept secret that I'm into the business of selling jerseys. I already have an order for the Real Madrid, away kit. Talking about the black one that was won for this victory. Because of the exploits or the success that they experienced with that in that match. So brilliant one for Real Madrid. It's Adagula is another player that's really grown in leaps and bounds.
Yes.
I mean, in this new role that he's playing as the number 10, the absence of Jude Bellingham, he's been able to score 2 goals and provide an assist in 4 La Liga games, which is very good for him. A player who is known for an eye for a goal and also for his creativity. I'm happy that he's finally getting an opportunity to blossom at Madrid. This is his 3rd season. Before we could blink our eyes, this is already his 3rd season at Madrid. Okay, so the first season, he had to sit on the bench for the majority of the time. When they had secured the La Liga victory, started playing him. I could see how much goals he was scoring. He was being compared to Lamine Yamal. At some point, even some of us were rating him above Lamine Yamal. Last season, he started and he was relegated back to the bench. Stand and Lamine Yamal was a starter, blew everyone away. Now he's miles apart, miles away from ahead of him, and it looks like to catch up with his, someone who will likely be his eternal rival. It's looking very, very difficult. But with performances like this, one step at a time, one game at a time, never know. Might end up being the player who will eventually be rated higher. Let's not forget, at some point in time, Luis Suarez was regarded as a great better striker than Karim Benzema. By the end of the day, who won the Ballon d'Or?
You understand? Karim Benzema, yes, of course.
Yeah, so Adagula still has time. He's still 20 years old. We know Lamine Yamal is 2 years and few months younger, but I mean, he still has the world ahead of him.
All right, away from that, let's take a look at other results. Sevilla 2, Elche 2, Getafe 2, Oviedo 0, Athletic Club 0, Alaves 1, Atletico Madrid defeated Villarreal 2-0, Celta Vigo played a 1-0 draw against Girona, Levante 2, Real Betis 2, Osasuna 2, Rayo Vallecano 0, Barcelona trashed Valencia 6-0. Away from La Liga, let's move straight to Italian Serie A. We will be talking about, the sibling sons of France international Lilian Thuram had netted within 6 minutes of each other to leave the score at 3-3 with 8 minutes left in the derby, the Italia. Now the match ended 4-3 in favor of Juventus. Of course, Daniel Osege, so far so good since the commencement of our league in Europe. This has been the best match so far. Talking about Juventus versus Inter Milan, we saw two brothers, Kefren and of course Marcus Thuram were on target, and the dad was even in the stadium. When we talk about a moment, that will actually be a moment. Of course, on that day, was actually the proudest dad, man on earth. Seeing your own sons, brothers are scoring in a derby game like this. Talking about Juventus versus Inter Milan. After the game, I saw how excited he was, and I was like, come on, this, when we talk about a moment in football, this happens to be one of the moments in football. What are your thoughts? Juventus 4, Inter Milan 3. The best match so far this season. Daniel?
I said I can't take your words for it because you're a lover of Serie A, so your bias.
Come on, don't talk about it. Okay, give me that match. Give me that match that is as sweet as Juventus Inter Milan's this season so far.
Like I said, it's not like I'm contesting it. I'm just saying that I don't think you were in the right position to comment about that. But at the end of the day, you have an opinion, and that's fine.
Okay.
Remember on Friday when we analyzed this match, I told you that I don't see any way Inter Milan can.
Inter Milan, yes, of course. You said something about that.
Or it draw at once, and that's what Juventus really deserve. Fantastic team they've been this season. They don't have those great names that you like to hear and all of that, but names don't win matches. A team does, and I'm really happy for the kind of start they've had to the season. They've won all 3 games so far. Only Napoli have been able to replicate that this season, and having to come back from 3-2 down with 10 minutes to go to secure that victory. That was fantastic. And just like you said about the Thuram brothers, both players, starters for their respective teams. Talking about Juventus and Inter Milan. Right, 2 of the 3 biggest teams in Italy. Like you said about their father, a legendary player, anytime, any day. Lilian Thuram, probably one of the greatest right backs to have ever played.
Of all time, yes, of course. I agree with you.
Yeah, and for a player who played for a long time in Italy, played for Parma, played for Juventus. You understand? So one of his son plays for his ex-team, one of his other son plays for a rival to his ex-team. Happened to see start, compete against one another, and then score. Like you rightfully said, they've scored within. That's a brilliant experience for him to witness in his lifetime, and it should be a proud father, obviously, like you rightfully said. And interesting game, like you said, the goals were flamboyant. There's some shots flying like rockets, like missiles, like astronauts, visiting
Come on,
space.
don't talk about.
So brilliant game. I think I can't but agree with you that it's been the best game in Europe so far this season.
All right, I know when we're discussing about Spanish La Liga, you made mention of Arda Güler and of course Lamine Yamal. I think Kenan Yildiz is also in that league as we speak.
I think you have a point there. It's a player that has been doing his own bit for Juventus. Still only 20 years of age. I mean, Arda Güler is about just over 2 months older than he is. When you look at his contributions to Juventus last season, scored 7 goals, provided 4 assists in the league. In the Champions League, he scored a goal and assisted one. Looks sport to you, but for a player who was 19 at the start of last season to have scored as many as 7 league goals, I think it's impressive. Because let's not forget, in this same Serie A, we had a certain Kaká was lighting up the Champions League in 2007 when he eventually won the Ballon d'Or. Scored 10 goals in the Champions League, fantastic. But in the Serie A that season, he didn't score as many goals as that. That's how difficult it is sometimes to execute a league campaign. The season where Kaká won the Ballon d'Or, he scored 8 goals in Serie A. So if Kenan Yildiz at the age of 19 and eventually turned 20 before the end of the season, scoring 7, I think that's something that's worth applauding him. Okay, so I'll give it up for you. Like you said, it's also one player to look out for the future.
All right, let's take a look at other results. Cagliari 2, Parma 0. Fiorentina lost to Napoli 1-3. Roma 0. Torino 1. Atalanta without Ademola Lookman defeated Lecce 4-1. Pisa lost at home to Udinese 0-1. Sassuolo defeated Lazio. AC Milan defeated Bologna. All thanks to the man called Luka Modric. At 40, Luka Modric is still scoring goals. All right, I pity all these, the Gen Z midfielders, but it's okay, it's all right. Away from foreign football. All right, Daniel, you were saying something.
Luka Modric, just like fine wine. Only gets better. At 40, like you rightfully said, he only turned 40 on Tuesday, and having to score, a few days after his 40th birthday. I think that was remarkable.
What a way to celebrate your 40th birthday! That's great.
Exactly. Yeah, but there are better celebrations. I know how you celebrate your own birthdays.
Okay, all right. Thank you for that one. Away from foreign football, let's move straight to auto sports.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, world record holder in the women's 100-meter hurdles, Tobi Amusan, will be vying for a second world title on Monday, today, 15 September 2025, when the semi-finals and final of the event take place at the 2025 World Championship in Tokyo. All right. There is one news that has been flying up and down, and of course, I know you've heard about it, talking about Tobi Amusan when she was talking about the AFN, how they've been treated, and all of them. So she was now comparing their own kits to the Jamaican zone. Then I was like, come on, come on, what is going on? Just one small nylon for an athlete like Tobi Amusan. And of course, AFN president has come out to debunk the news, and what they could come out with is they are planning, to send them more kits batch by batch, and I was like, come on, this is not NYSC, batch A, stream 1 and stream 2. You just have to give them everything at the right time. So, and despite the fact that they've not been treated well, we saw what is his name, Ajayi did well, and of course this is Tobi Amusan also doing well for herself. But she said something during that round. She said this is the main reason why Nigerian athletes switch allegiance. Do you agree with Tobi Amusan with what she said? Hello, Dan. Are you still with us? All right. It seems his network is not cooperating. I was just talking about Tobi Amusan, and of course the AFN, where the AFN has come out to debunk everything that she said. We just hope that at the end of the day, Tobi Amusan will definitely do this great nation well. Make us proud. She has been doing it before. Of course, in Oregon, she won the 100-meter hurdle. She set a new record, and of course, during her own heat too. Over the weekend, she also won her heat, and of course, today, of course, she will definitely be running for the semi-final. We just hope that at the end of the day, she gets to set a new record. Not just win, of course, set a new record. Daniel, are you still with us? Hello, Dan. All right, that is how much we can take on Sport Tour on Enterprise TV 7. If you are here to follow us across all social media, endeavor to do that. We are at Enterprise TV 7 across all social media platforms. Visit our website at www.enterprisetvnews.com, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Daniel Osegi has been given on the show.